You are capable of influencing the mental health and wellness of those around you, even if you aren't an expert in mental health. For real. I'm JP, the Stable Cyclist, and everything we do on this channel is looked at through the lens of mental health. And when it comes to talking about mental health, it's common for people to think that listening is the only thing they can do to be helpful, especially if they don't work in the medical field. I get it. It's hard to know exactly what to say or do when the topic of mental health comes up. Many people feel ill-equipped to even talk about mental health, let alone do anything about it. In fact, the number one question I get from people when we engage about mental health topics is this: what can I actually do to help? Today we're starting a series called Building Community that will occur throughout the summer. In each episode of this series, we'll look at people and companies connected directly with this channel and how those people and companies are engaging in mental health and mental wellness for those that they work with on a regular basis. Although they are all vastly different in what they do, where they're located, and how they reach their communities, if you listen closely, there's a thread that ties them all together and shows us ways that we can engage with our own communities when it comes to mental health and mental wellness. PodiumWear is the #1 maker in cross-country ski apparel in North America, and their most well-known athlete is Minnesota's own Jessie Diggins, an Olympic gold medalist in cross-country skiing. They also make cycling and soccer apparel, and all of it is made right here in our state's great capital of St. Paul, Minnesota. They also happen to make the kit that I wear. I've raced mountain bikes for 5 years, and every race I've done has been in a PodiumWear kit, as they've been the clothing partner with the team I race for. A few weeks ago, I had the chance to take a tour of PodiumWear's factory, and then I got to sit down with their owner, Reid Lutter, and talk about exactly what it is that PodiumWear does.
We'll design from the ground up. We don't really have any stock designs per se. We want to make everyone's design just for them. So our graphic designers will talk with the client, they'll design an illustrator, and we will then send it down to production. Once our stuff finishes upstairs with the illustrator files, they're all brought down here to the print room. It's a 3-step process. One, we take all those files and nest them into a shape that's going to be the best for that fabric usage. And then we print them. And then the second step after printing is we dye transfer it. So we actually bring it onto a machine that we'll show you in a second that heats it up to about 400 degrees. At that heat, under pressure, the dye from the paper will go into the fabric, and then we basically have the product ready to be cut. Nick is doing a QC on every single thing. He's looking at the fabric, making sure no piece of lint got in there and messed up the print, making sure we have all the right sizes. Once those are done, we kind of do about a week's worth of work, and then we bag all that stuff up and send it down to sewing at the end of the haul. Yeah, and that's basically our whole process, and it's all done right here, and with people who ride and bike and ski in all of our gear, you know.
Reid started PodiumWear 20 years ago, frustrated with the service that other companies were providing, and convinced that he could create something better. When we sat down to talk, Reid wasted no time diving into the ethos of what makes PodiumWear tick.
We have 3 values that we do at PodiumWear, which is same team, fun and friendly, and no surprises. We're all the same team, and that's like, we want to help you get your kit that looks awesome. If you don't understand something about crossing seams or the design process, we need to explain it to you, not just think that you know what we know. And same team is also internal. You know, we can't have our sales team make a promise on a delivery that graphic design or production can't handle. So it's communication, really.
PodiumWear is a small company by many people's standards, but Reid makes sure to take care of the employees that he does have.
Directly right now, we employ 14, and then all the sewers are actually on a contract basis, and those will go up to the 30 to 35 people at our peak season. So we'll be close to 50 people when we're really humming.
One of the reasons I wanted to sit down and talk with Reid is because PodiumWear offers a living wage to all of its employees. Now, a living wage isn't what intrigued me as much as how that fulfills the ethos of what PodiumWear is trying to do. Living wage has been around for a long time. It's not a new idea, but it can be triggering for some people in today's society based on how it's defined. And so in this case, I thought it was best to let the person who's using it define it for us.
Basically, living wage is just saying my people can come to work, do their job, and not have to do anything else and go home and be able to buy the food they want and need and do the things they want so they can live their life. I mean, so it was never an actual conscious decision I need to change what the philosophy is. It was just about how do we attract good people? How do we make sure that these employees are able to basically get out and do the sports that we make the stuff for.
In order to provide this for his workers, PodiumWear doesn't outsource any of its work. None of their kit that consumers get arrives from somewhere else. It's all handmade right in St. Paul. And it guarantees that the workers are taken care of in St. Paul, and it also guarantees the quality of the work.
But it also comes down to what does the consumer want, right? Our prices are higher. Our prices are higher because we make it here. Our prices are higher because we pay our employees a livable wage. And that's ultimately a decision that the consumer has to make. Is it worth $10 more to get a really high quality product that's made here,
I'm never going to sit down and talk with somebody and not bring up mental health. And Reid didn't shy away from any of those questions. In fact, he pointed to the need for community to work through those issues.
Mental health is overlooked incredibly in this country. This week, I actually have an employee who's taking a mental health week, and they're having paid time off to do that. And that's the fact that there's a stigma to that is ridiculous to me. But I think by and large it's just it's all those ethos of same team. I'm the same team with my employees. We if they're not healthy, they're and happy, then they're not going to do a good job. And so we need to support that in whatever way possible. And by and large, just trying to acknowledge that mental health is the same as physical health, and that people need time to recover. We're a small company, so we know what's going on, and also some of their personal life comes into the company, right? And we care about that.
Until I asked him about mental health, Reid had never said the words mental health, but he had been talking the entire time indirectly about wellness supports and the concepts of building those into his company. He told us that we need to communicate with those around you, especially if you're in charge. If you're the one in charge of a situation, use your power to make that situation better for everybody. Treat people the way you want to be treated. The idea that many of us are taught growing up, that we honor people even if they're working for us or if we are in charge of them. Acknowledge mental health struggles when they occur. We must allow people to still have their dignity if they're struggling with mental health. We also must be willing to give them the space they need if they need time to go and heal. Finally, he talked about building a community and caring about what's going on in other people's lives. Care. Just care about what's going on in other people's lives. And if their personal lives slip in and it gets a little bit messy, that's okay. We can still give honor and dignity to those around us on a regular basis. These ideas don't come from the medical world or from psychologists or psychiatrists. They're what we all want in our day-to-day. When we do this, we naturally lower the anxiety of those around us. And we offer a lifeline to those who are struggling, because we've created an environment where people can come and be themselves. You don't need to be a doctor or a therapist or a psychiatrist to impact the mental health and wellness of those around you. You don't even need to say the words mental health. What can you actually do to help? You can create an environment where people can come and thrive. And in turn, they will go out and create environments for those around them, and it will do the same thing for the lives that they touch. So whether you're a business owner or a worker, whether you're a teacher or a student, whether you're a parent or a child, you have the ability to be a difference maker in the lives around you every single day. Thanks for hanging out today. We do this every single week. We get together and we talk, usually about mental health and bikes. And if you don't want to miss the next time we do this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Finally, most importantly, remember that you yourself are loved. And be sure to go out and remind others that they are loved as well. I'm JP, the Stable Cyclist. Have an amazing day. We'll see you next time.